My research is complete and I have the answer. I've been wondering why there aren't droves and droves of Americans lining the Kenyan coast month after month having the time of their lives. The Kenyan coast is spectacular, so it just didn't add up for me. But I finally have the answer. I'm unusual in that I researched and picked Kenya, sight unseen, as where I wanted to live. You're probably wondering why I'm so big on Kenya. I promise to share my motivation about Kenya in an upcoming video. I came to Kenya for 3 weeks to validate my decision and to pick a location for a long-term stay. I quickly returned for my long-term stay, this time 3 months, to work out the logistics and to determine what I need for my permanent move to Kenya. When I returned, it was so clear to me that the Kenyan coast is paradise. It easily validated my selection of Kenya. So why isn't the Kenyan coast littered with Americans? Why isn't the Kenyan coast promoted to the world aggressively? Well, I have the answer for you. So do you remember the question? Why isn't the Kenyan coast littered with Americans? And why isn't the Kenyan coast promoted to the world aggressively? I'm talking beyond the obvious post-pandemic slow recovery of the tourism industry. I've concluded that it's because Kenyans from Nairobi dismiss the Kenyan coast as a tourist spot and not the real Kenya. You pretty much treat it as an extension region and not fully embrace it as part of Kenya. Yes, I went there. We love you all, by the way. My observation is that Kenyans in and around Nairobi do not promote the coast, and therefore much of the West is sleeping on Kenya as a whole. I'm gonna cause even more trouble and say that Nairobi Kenyans are elitist when compared to the coastal Kenyans. Okay, let me explain what I mean by elitist. I don't mean elitist in general. I'm referring to Nairobi Kenyans' disposition when it comes to the coastal Kenyans. Am I wrong? Here are some comments from Nairobi Kenyans about a video I posted regarding the funny experiences I had while living on the Kenyan coast. Again, I know that many of you Nairobi Kenyans embrace the coast, so I'm really talking about the rest of you who aren't fully on board. Us coastal Kenyans are gonna fight back. Yes, I'm on the side of coastal Kenyans here. Okay, for the record, Nairobi Kenyans, you know I love you. I had the best time in Nairobi, but you gotta cut us coastal Kenyans some slack. This video is in support of my brothers and sisters on the coast and making the case for Kenyan coastal living. I dare you, Nairobi city slickers, to match what we have here on the coast. Alright, let's start with accommodations. There is nothing better for the soul than waking up in the morning, sitting on a balcony with a cup of coffee, and watching the ships go by. There is no shortage of amazing accommodations here on the coast. Whether you're contemplating staying at a residence of a celebrity or at an Airbnb designed and owned by a very creative local Kenyan. Sure, I can stay at a swanky, high-rise apartment in Nairobi. I don't know about you, but outdoor living is such a freeing experience. It puts me in a similar state of mind that I achieve when I meditate. I've gone on and on about Makuti design style roofs before. Just have a look at the styles. There are high-end options, there are reasonably priced waterfront properties, and beachfront properties. There are also long-term stay living options. City life is edgy, but for me, in small doses. Keep in mind, accommodations are so affordable for Americans and tourists in general. So there really is no excuse not to visit. I love the wide selection of tranquil coastal properties. And there's more. brothers and sisters on the coast, we have the market cornered on great restaurants. The city folk might want to disagree, but I don't see how. Late night dining on beach restaurants with sounds of crashing waves create a natural ambiance that city restaurants can only hope to achieve. Such backdrops are the norm for us coastal diners. Who doesn't want to be smiling even before ordering food items? I've lost count of the number of great restaurants for foodies. There are also great venues for folks who just like to eat, like me. Great breakfast spots. Who else loves breakfast like me? Or who else just loves to eat like me? Probably nobody. Great places for lunch. Are you a fan of samosas? Do you like calamari? Great dinner spots. Exotic dining experiences. As much as I can appreciate fine dining, I kept coming back to Chill Spot. It really is as laid back as the name implies. Grab a beer, order some samosas, and top it off with grilled chicken and vegetables on chapati. You just can't go wrong. I have mad love for the Java House. Sure, Nairobi has a Java House, but this one in Diani has karma. Good karma. There is always great karma for me there. This spot is where I met King David for the very first time. I lost a special ring there and then randomly showed up there 3 weeks later for a late breakfast and had it returned to me by a waitress who didn't even know I had lost it in the first place. If you find yourself in Diani, make your way to the Java House because I believe something good is in store for you there. And there's more! Please talk about the ocean. In America, we've been exposed to the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, but experiencing the calmness of the Indian Ocean makes it almost impossible not to take gentle strolls along the white sandy beaches. The Kenyan coast is where childhood dreams and reality collide. Oh, that's so poetic. Many of us at some point in time have envisioned being out in the ocean, looking to come upon rare ocean life. It's one thing to experience a dolphin sighting from a boat, but swimming with dolphins in the wild is certainly an experience to write home about. Early morning snorkeling to explore exotic ocean life just a few minutes offshore is readily available for anyone motivated to see underwater beauty in its natural state. Expect to stumble on unusual sightings, or perhaps not unusual, but definitely surprising. Dancing at night as you set sail, or on the beach where the river meets the ocean has to speak to the soul. As you can imagine, there are many markets to view and purchase art, or to collect artifacts. Of course, this is where you need to begin your journey into the art of negotiation. I will never tire of visiting art shops and markets. I particularly love the business owners who make and sell their own products. And there's more. So coastal Kenyans, did I represent? Did we make a case that Nairobi Kenyans should promote our coast? Naturally, I'm having a bit of fun because I love all of Kenya. But I do believe that folks in Nairobi should promote the coast, which in turn will lead to more and more visitors heading inland. Tourists might start out on the coast, but they are sure to venture to other spots once they become aware. Think of a safari as a well-known attraction for tourists, but they need to know that the Kenyan coast stacks up against many of the best spots in the world. I am so tired of Americans having no idea about what's possible here in Kenya. Nairobi Kenyans, you all travel to the US. Do they know about your coast? Once they're here, they're gonna wanna know more and more. I would love to see more of you claiming your coast as your own and promoting it to the world. Let's not leave it up to Western media to enlighten Americans about Kenya. They haven't gotten it right all this time. Each Kenyan on social media should be pushing and sharing content about Kenya. It really is a group effort because there is such an amazing story to tell and the upside is impressive. I leave you with this.